Good morning, everybody. How are we doing
Morning.
today?
Long time no see, Glenn.
Oh,
How you been?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. How's
Excellent.
how's Spain, Kevin? Is that where you're at right now?
oh, yeah. Spain is wonderful. It seems like I'm having a little bit of connection delay here, just as we get going. Hopefully, it'll catch up here. But yeah, it's been great. We went to Segovia last weekend. My daughter
Oh,
lives in a town called Cuenca, so we've been just hanging out, meeting her friends, kind of seeing how her life is, which has been wonderful. And then we're
Hmm.
going. I think it's Valencia. I think we're going to today. So we'll spend the
um,
weekend there. Then we come back. Am I with you? Because I keep seeing drops.
yep. We can still hear you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're still here, so you keep on trucking. But hey, for all of you tuning in, great to see you. Are you having the best day ever? Let us know in the chat if you are. Excited to hear about your weekend plans too. I'm going to a welcome to Wisconsin party. To
Oh,
for someone
Ooh.
who's moving, so that should be fun. Um, uh,
it's fine.
but yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Is anyone here going to FabCon Europe? Christina, you're very
No,
just setting.
I can't do it. I got two weddings coming up. So, or
Uh,
actually three weddings coming up. So, I
Oh, wow.
unfortunately can't make it, but I would have loved to. So if you guys are going, definitely put it in the chat because I want to hear all about it.
yes,
So,
yes, excited to
Yeah,
hear about the new announcements.
I was hoping to go since I'm already over here, but I couldn't
right.
afford to extend my trip, because I would have had to go for like a whole nother 2 weeks. And
Ugh,
we actually talked about it, but it didn't work out. So, oh well, another time.
A
next year.
month of vacation time sounds crazy. You might as well retire at that point in time.
Okay.
Kevin's like, don't tempt me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he immediately
Well, I
logs
could.
off.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, good morning, everyone. Jason, it's good to see you. Yes, Donald, we're excited to have Christina here. There's three of us. How awesome is this? Because we are going to have a paginated party today. Ah, Jack,
Woohoo.
good to see you as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And buenos dias as well, Giraffe. Good to see you. And it looks like Donald's headed over to Minnesota Sequel Saturday on the 28th. Kevin, both of you and I went last year. I am not going to be able to make it this year. Are you headed there or no?
Yeah,
No.
I'm headed there. I'm speaking. Oh,
Oh,
sorry, Christina. Go ahead,
Are you
Christina.
Kevin? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And Donald, the reason he's putting it out there is Donald's on the speaking agenda now. So
Yay.
pretty excited about that.
well, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. Kevin, what are you going to be speaking on?
Uh, I hope I have this correct. I'm doing tax queries in Power BI desktop, and I'll also include how they work up on the web. I hope I didn't submit a different topic and forget. I'm doing a different one. As soon as I get back, I do a talk in Dallas. I missed their sequel, and so I'm doing their regular user group, and I got to remember which topics I'm doing.
Uh, your
Understandable.
SQL user group looks good. And Donald, leave a post. What are you speaking on? Would love to share that with everyone. He says he's only going because he heard how fun the speaker dinner was last year. So that is true. Frankly, if you're ever going to be presenting or speaking anywhere, the reason you do that is to attend the speaker dinner. That's exactly it. And ooh, look at that. That's a great topic.
Ooh.
Star speaker history. That's great. And since we're doing little plugs, I'm going to put in a little plug quick here before we get into the meat of the why we're here today. Next Wednesday at the Madison Fabric User Group, I'm going to be presenting end-to-end fabric build-out. So I'm going to be showing you how to go from where you are today with an on-prem SQL server migrating everything into Fabric, getting that all up and running, and showing you how to do it, why to do it, the value add that you get by doing that as well. So do check that out. Oh, and Christina used the SQL Saturday link, so thank you.
Yeah, SQL Saturday Minnesota is near and dear to my heart, but I can't make it this year, unfortunately.
All right.
So, Chris, is that Minnesota group, is that a virtual event?
Yes, great question, and it's the Madison Fabric user group. We were all on in person, and logistics just started to get crazy, and we realized, you know what, we're gonna try this virtually and see how that goes. So you can head over to our meetup group, and you can sign up there. Then you can dial in, you can ask questions. There's a strong probability that's going to be live streamed as well, so you can follow it on this channel. So be aware that you could also just stay right where you're at and do that. But if you want to be like in the Teams meeting and asking questions as we go along, do go over to the or to Meetup and sign up there. Okay. Awesome. Like Damu, I'm looking at you. I think like I know you'd be excited to do this. All right. Good morning, Greg. Good to see you. Good. All right. Well, what are we here to talk about today?
Paginated reports.
That's right.
All right. Am I here?
It's a paginated party.
You're here, Kevin.
All right. I think I froze for just a second.
That's okay.
So I think we're here to throw a paginated party
first.
and talk. All right. You go.
Okay. Yeah. While you're getting reconnected in and honed in, we're going to hit on the rules, then we're going to be pivoting right to you. Okay, Kevin? Rule number 1, please prefix any question with the Q so we can get it queued up. We try to answer all the questions. In fact, I don't think we've been through a live stream where we haven't got through all the questions. So, just help us let us know that. Rule 2, please don't repeat or spam questions. That's a bad thing. We don't want to do that. And that's pretty much the end of the rules. But if you do want to be like a part of the chat and the conversation, we do recommend you get on YouTube. We stream to many different places. So we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on X, we're on Rumble. I'm looking at a couple others we might be going to soon. So you'll find us wherever you're at, and that's totally fine. But the chat is not necessarily the best integrated with that. With other platforms. So YouTube is the best, but you could find Kevin and myself over on X and LinkedIn, and you can find Christina and myself over on both LinkedIn and X as well. So with that
ready, I'm impressed.
What's that?
You had that ready. I'm impressed. Yeah.
it's almost like I know what I'm doing here. Almost. All right. With that, let's go over to Kevin, whose hopefully connections are strong and he can introduce what we're talking about today.
I don't think my connections are all that strong. I keep getting yellow boxes coming up saying it's reconnecting, but I think I'm here. So yeah,
okay. Let's give it a shot.
We're going to talk about. Am I here? Everything froze for me. I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to keep going as if I am here. So do you want to go to my screen and we'll talk about the announcement that was made August 5th? All right. So August 5th, they announced, let me move up a little bit into this window. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. New paginated report authoring experience, right? So that it's a new way of being able to author paginated reports up on the service. And, I've tried it, and I'll show you a little bit of what I went through with it. Is my screen shareable?
Yep.
You're
looking good, Kevin.
Okay. I'm looking at the stream. I got it now. Okay. So, so this is all up on the web, and I know there was a question earlier right? About you being able to utilize the web in place of using the desktop. And in my opinion, and we'll kind of go through, we'll see why this happens, but this is not going to be a full replacement of the desktop, but it's going to be a really good starting point for producing some paginated reports that you want to have right up on the service and keep them right up on the service. So you could see they've put in a new little UI in the middle part here
Mm-hmm.
that we'll see when we go up on there, that there's an editor up at the top. There's a preview at the bottom. You could just, on your data set, you could click into different tables or even columns on that table and go ahead and produce that. So you could go across tables and it'll automatically produce the DAX query that it needs to show that data. You can't edit that DAX query up on the service or anything, but if the RDL, which is the language that it uses, it saves into a .rdl file. You could download and take it further. So you could format your table to include totals or not include totals, and have a header and a footer. So you could read through this article. Chris, I think I have the article in our little chat if you want to put the link up
Yep,
for them.
I'm going to share that as well right now.
Okay. So let's get started. I'm going to do this on a workspace that is on a F2 capacity. And the reason that I'm going to do it that way is there's one feature I want to show that you have to be on a capacity. And that comes up towards the end when I'm going to show subscriptions. But I did also mess around with this on a premium per user and was able to produce a paginated report, save it. I'm just not able to do the data-driven subscription that we're able to do when we're on a capacity. Okay, so I'm going to start off. If you remember a couple weeks ago, right on this show, we were starting to show something, and we came in here and we said, "Hey, let's take a look at one of these models." This is just the normal basic Contoso model. And we said, hey, look, we could kind of explore our data. We could just click on it and we get a table preview. No, really, we get a table preview. There, it's starting to show.
Here we come.
So it will show the table. It's going to show you 500 rows. But now we got a couple other buttons that show up here. There's the actual data finally. Right? We could click on create a paginated report, or we could click on it here. There's a couple different ways to get to it. Even though like sales shows, you see there's nothing that shows here because it has a measure. On this little interface, it's really just kind of like, if you think about index desktop, right? My view data, right? Tab. This kind of works like that. I could look at one table at a time and kind of do some things. But if I go to paginated report, now it brings up this whole new experience. And let me get rid of these filters. And you can see it carried over from what I had on that original browsings, right? So that's kind of a nice thing. And it has this editor up top. So I could sit here and change the size of my columns and everything, right? But I'm going to go ahead and remove customer altogether, because I'm going to say I want to have a report that is going to show me product information. And I want to know the, say, manufacturer, right? And now it's going to add these in order when I'm clicking down at this lower level. So I'm going to have manufacturer, their product code, and product name. And I'm going to show all sales. See, so now I could put the measure onto it. I have my sales amount. And so this is just going across the entire data set, and it gives me a preview of what I see down here. So since I could see these product names, right, should be a little bit longer, I could just page that or make that wider here, and boom, I see, if I don't want to have any wrapping, I haven't tried this. It doesn't know that double click, but What do you guys think so far?
I think this looks great.
I think this is a great starting point for any paginated
It-
report builder. Like, this is
Yeah.
the part everyone has the most struggle with.
Mhm. Yeah. So just, I mean, it's automatically connected to your model. I could turn the row totals off. Let's see, that would be, now they're off at the bottom. This should pop back up. I don't know if it's going to show because it's on. Oh, there, I see total here now, down at the very bottom of my screen.
I love
So,
that you have the editor and the preview on the same screen. I have
mhm.
always hated in Paginated Report Builder that you edit on one screen, then you have to purposely go into preview in
Yeah.
order to see what it's going to look like. It's such
Yeah.
a bad build experience, I've thought.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
Well, good.
If you know, yeah, because we got time, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it, folks. Thanks for joining us.
yeah, have a great day. So you could insert headers and footers. So I'm going to insert a header, and then so in this header now it brings up this header box, and I could insert an image, and I could
Ooh.
use a URL or I could use a file. Let's go ahead and use a file.
Uh-oh.
I thought I was
Careful
there.
what
There we
file
go.
you're selecting. Okay.
See, I did pre-plan this part. So, yeah, I just took a screenshot from one of our Fabric Fridays, and oops, I got to use these little uh, arrows up here so I could move this up, and I could put in a oh, there's other things: display,
Oh.
original size, fit to size, fit proportional, clip. So a couple of things to kind of play with here: your padding option, your alt text, right?
Oh, that's nice.
If I could type. Yeah, so all kinds of neat little things. So you could get, and this will repeat, right? Your header will repeat on each page and everything. So you could use that. I'm
This
going to
is
go back to my
fantastic.
header.
Hey, Kevin, quick question.
Yeah.
Damu wants to know, are you able to actually write a DAX statement and then put it in the service or no?
Ooh, that's a great question. I have not seen a way to do that. No.
Okay.
So I think
So that's a
if you
desktop
wanted
only
to,
function.
yeah, if you wanted to kind of modify it, and I think they do a really good job of writing the DAX statement, even in Power in the desktop, right, for Report Builder. It does a pretty good job of writing the DAX statement, because it understands your semantic model, right? So it knows how to get sales off of the sales table, and it knows that it has to bring in product, right? More than likely, it's going to be a summarized column. So I haven't downloaded these yet. But if you did need to tweak it or do something special with it, you could download it and then open it in desktop to do all that stuff. I haven't seen any roadmap that says more things are coming. Um,
Oh, I
but
am
maybe,
sure. I mean, they always do an iterative approach, right? Like
right.
they put it out there, then they gather feedback on it, and then when they have enough feedback to like definitively take a path forward, that's when they move that forward. So if you like this, or if you have feedback on things that you want to see in the service, head over to aka.ms/fabric ideas and put an idea out there, or vote for ones that are out there to make sure that they understand how much you're using this functionality that you'd like to see added, and they'll get that added in. Now, with that said, some things can be added quickly. They deploy updates to the service 3 times a week. Other things take a lot of engineering to get done. So, like it might be an idea that they're accepting and they're moving forward with, but it could take them a year or two to develop it. So just be aware that that's a great place to put that there, but know that, I mean, development time is still a thing, even for Microsoft. So,
Mhm.
wow, look at that! Now, look what you did.
Yeah, so while we were talking, I added a title into this. Again, it shows me down at the bottom what it looks like. If you do want more room on either the preview, right? You got these
Mm,
collapse bars.
Oh,
It's
that's
going to
nice.
always force one to be open, which is good, right? So, excuse me, this allows me to see my header for more if I want to actually see both. But this is looking pretty good, right? And now I'm going to close my header down, and I could do the same for a footer.
Mm.
And so now I have my footer here, and I'm going to actually knock this down a little bit so I could see this screen a little bit more. So what's some of the normal things that we kind of put into a footer?
Page
Those
number.
numbers.
Yeah. So look, they're right there under field. I could insert a page number. Kind of
Oh, and
move it around.
execution time.
Uh-huh.
Gosh. Why the heck isn't that a feature in Power BI Desktop?
So let's see. Let's
Mhm.
get back here.
I
gotta
think
get to my
composite
footer
models is
one.
the answer to that one, Chris, but I wish.
How is composite models the answer to that one?
If you had something that was direct query and import, when was the last execution time?
But I think this is for the paginated report itself, what time the report
Yeah.
ran, not when your data set was updated, right?
Right, which is
So
also a slight danger. I think that's a good call out.
that's true.
Yep. I think I would like to see some very like all of those things. I'd like to see like as easy as a drag and drop as what Kevin just showed. So head over to
Yeah.
Fabric Ideas and put that in, right? Like that is super easy in this report builder to add in a page number, and when it was ran, you just drag and drop it. We should have that same functionality in Power BI to just like drag and drop a matrix that shows when the data set was refreshed, when so you know all that stuff. That should just be
Makes
available. Why not?
a little tooltip
Yeah.
for you with like an info button icon. You hover over it, you see when the last time all your tables refreshed.
Oh my God, Christina, that's exactly it. I want an info button that's part of the service that I could just add to a report that displays when the model was refreshed and or automatically shows when the tables underneath it were refreshed. So if they're all refreshed at the same time, great, they'll refresh. But if you're doing incremental or you're doing table by table, I want it to automatically display that. That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
So smart.
I've built stuff like that, but it's not as easy, right? As a drag and drop.
Yeah, you build it, you have to maintain it. It takes data engineering. Like it's a thing, but that's all available in the service. And the DMVs, they have that in the model. They know when the tables were refreshed. They know if it's incremental. Like, why not make that a feature that we can just display?
That would be great.
Come on, Microsoft. What's going on?
Come on.
I was also thinking like the footer options there. I love the show on first page and show on last page check boxes. That means you could make a footer that's different for the middle pages versus the first
that
or
sounds
last page.
great.
I love that.
That one's good. All right, I think I'm getting pretty close here to, being able to just kind of run this, save it. Let me line this up a little bit. Might have to have a ruler somewhere. But we're looking pretty good, right? So, I mean, it's amazing how much you could do just here already. So, and I could probably come clean this up, make it look a little bit better, but I'm going to go home.
Kevin, this is a legit paginated report. Like,
it is.
In 20 minutes of us screwing around while talking and farting around and, yeah, you've got this. Wait a minute. Wait, what did you just do? How'd you do that? Well, go back. Show me that again.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Uh-huh.
I came under File,
Okay.
Save, and it's going to
Look at
default
this.
to the workspace that I'm in. I could create a new
Mm-hmm.
folder for it or whatever. And I'm
But
just
you
going to
can
call
put it
it,
someplace else.
it looks that way. I haven't tried. You want me to risk it? We know how these things go with me, so let's get through what I actually have planned out and tried. It's hard enough with the delays.
No, just keep going. Just keep going.
Oh, Chris just set me up for failure. It wouldn't be a Kevin demo if something didn't fail. I'm waiting for it.
I didn't want to
All
say
right.
anything and jinx you. You're doing so well.
I know.
But that's not it. That's not all, right? So now think about this, right?
What?
I have this report, and I'm going. Actually, let's move to viewing mode, right? So I could change up here
Oh,
from
nice.
editing mode to viewing mode, right? So I have all of these manufacturers, and I want to, let's say I sent this out. Now I'm going to send out everything. Oops, generating. Right? But let's say I didn't want all the manufacturers on here. I wanted to be able to pick them. I'm going to go right to the end. So how would we do that in normal paginated reports? 61 pages, by the way. Parameters. So guess what? If we go back into editing mode.
What?
No, really, if we go back into editing mode.
You're telling me for 40 years I've been doing this all wrong.
There we go. Now we're back in editing mode. All right, so let's say that we wanted to limit this to just selected manufacturers. Now, if I wanted to force that limit, I could come in here and use filtering. I don't know why this isn't coming up. It's interesting. Here before it was allowing me to select. Let me exit this and come back in.
And this is still in preview, right, Kevin? So we can expect.
I
Or
don't
is
know
this
that it
the
said
end?
here that this was previewed. I don't know that this says one way or another. This article doesn't tell us that.
Oh, then it probably is GA. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's right at the top in the title preview.
Oh,
Oh, is it?
Scroll
I
up.
was looking too quick. I'll scroll while it's in. Let's see.
Yeah, it's all good. I got you. In fact,
All right, here, preview.
it's yeah, right up at the
Big,
top.
big bold letters for Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to look too far here. Don't.
Come on, get in the
So-
editing
Hide
mode.
that
There we
gotcha.
go.
a little bugginess is to be expected for right now. I guess it was my point, is that
Yeah.
if when in doubt,
Just-
exit, save, come back, and do this
Yeah.
again.
So you see, all I did was exit and come back in, but I could have under my filter pane, I could start selecting and force the report to be only certain, say, manufacturers in this case, right? But as we mentioned a little bit ago, we really want to do it as a parameter. So I'm going to say create parameter.
Look
And it's
at
going
this.
to create it for me. And let me narrow this down a little bit so we could see it. Now you see down in the preview section, we have
Oh, and it defaults to having a select all option. Oh, that's so
right.
It is so hard to make that select all in the
It does.
desktop. Yeah.
So now, right, I could come in here and I could turn my select all off and only select this. Now you notice it doesn't automatically run the report. I have to click view report down even in my preview section.
Makes sense.
Okay. And if I wanted to remove it, I could just click this X here. It'll ask me, it's going to confirm. Do you want to remove the parameter? I'm going to go ahead and say cancel.
Oh.
And I'm going to save this. I could do a save or a save as, but I'm going to go ahead and save it over the same report that we've had. My wife just got back to the apartment and is asking me to let her in.
Not allowed.
Okay, well, here.
Can you guys could you guys take it for just a minute?
Yeah. Let's us talk. You step aside. Okay, Christina. Now you just did a demo of presenting Paginated reports. Am I right? Is that a presentation you just did?
No, but I've done a
Heck
lot of
am I thinking
Paginated
of?
reports.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I have done a lot of them.
Okay.
My big question for Kevin when he comes back is going to be, can we embed this into a report using the online report editor? And can I have my report pass filters to my parameters? Because that right there means that if I now need to make a drill through page in Power BI, it is a really easy lift to do it using a paginated report.
So I'll say one of the big gotchas there that people like may miss out on or may not understand the best technique around is you're limited to 4 parameters, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yep. But that just means you really just have to do your integration in at the lowest grade.
Right.
So when you know if it's account or if it's salesperson or whatever you're reporting on, you create that one parameter, or you know if you're integrating it, you do that one parameter as the integration point, and then everything else will end up also filtering and slicing and dicing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
Sorry,
good.
Kevin. Christina.
Oh
had
no,
a
you guys are fine.
Okay.
But thank you for covering for that. So she's
problem.
back in now and all set. So
we're doing this live, man. Like real life continues to go on.
I'm glad you chose to let her in. It's good.
Yeah,
so to
well,
be clear,
she was relaxing
none
on
of
the
us are
bench
in
downstairs.
actual studios, right? We're not in like a big production house with other people behind cameras. We're all sitting in our own offices, you know, or I'm sorry, our own homes doing whatever, right? So
Mm-hmm.
all right. So one of the things we were talking about, and Christina, let's set up your question to Kevin.
Yes. So my question, Kevin, was this is all great. How do I use it in a Power BI report as a drill through page where I can pass my filter context into a paginated report?
Probably a really good question, and I haven't tested that yet.
No worries.
Right? So, I mean, I would assume, and we could try it here if we got a little bit of time. What I want to get through just one more thing.
Yeah.
And then why don't we start experimenting with things and see what could kind of fall apart.
I love it.
All right.
Let's
So
go.
I think I
So
already
what's your
saved. I'm
point?
going to do save. I'm going to do save one more time just to be sure. And I'm going to actually close it down and open it because as we were talking about, it kind of feels like it runs better that way. Okay, so now you see I got to come in and I got to give a manufacturer. I could select 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever number I want, right? So we'll just go ahead and pick one, Northwind this time, and view the report. And now we got this report and it's only for the Northwind traders. So let's say I want to set up a subscription, right? And I'm going to create a subscription. Have you all seen this before now? That we could do standard subscriptions and
So nice.
dynamic per recipient.
Dynamic per recipient.
Wonderful, Chris. That was great.
You have so many toys, Chris. I love it.
So let's since we do have a parameter, let's go ahead and select this. And what it wants is a semantic model that your recipient data is in. But we don't have one yet, right? So at least, well, I kind of don't have one. So I was going to show you what I did. I'm going to go ahead and discard this. And what I did in order to make this easy is I came into my Fabric workspace. It's on a capacity, and I produced another warehouse. And you'll see right now this warehouse has no tables or anything, but I have 2 saved queries. What I'm going to come in is, I think I did brand before, but we can still call it brand, right? Well, we'll change it to, we'll leave it brand just because I already have this. It won't matter. We'll be able to choose the mapping. So I'm going to run and create this table. And I got a save query. These obviously won't work because I did it by brand. I should change my report. I should do what I tested earlier. So
How dare you?
I know. This is where I fall apart. This is my normal thing.
Let's
But you can
go.
see now I have like test 1, test 2, and I have what I want that parameter to be, right? So we could come back over to our paginated report now, get back. I think there's an easier way to get back to that subscription. I always do it this way.
And while you're doing that, make sure everyone, if you're not, you like, subscribe, leave a comment. All that stuff really does help feed the logarithm. So, and honestly, all the chatting and stuff, the reason why we promote it is that drives the logarithm to push this to more people and prompt it up, and because it sees that this is an active, good community. So do chat in the stream. That's a very good thing. It really helps us out.
I wanted to make sure this was showing up in the model before. Okay,
Yeah,
so we have this in.
Enough. We need you guys.
Yeah, we have this in our default model, and so what we're going to do now is see if we could use this for our subscription. And I didn't test this fully before. Yeah, it's just a standalone table in this model. Nice. There's no relationship, anything, right? So what the idea is we're going to try to get this to be used in our subscription, in our subscribe to report, and have it feed in who it's going to go to. And let's see, I want I think it was just called report sub, but let me look through here to make sure. I'm going to actually go back to this one and look at, because I have 2 different models and I'm not sure. Yeah, so report sub, okay. That was right up here. And so now it's looking through that, and what I could do, okay, I think saying it can't get there. What did I do? I think I ended up having to create a regular model instead of using the default model before. Let me bring this default model up and see if it's actually working.
And this is the default
okay,
model.
So in the default model, the table's not in there. It must be configured. Let's go back here. It must be configured to not automatically update. This is attached to a warehouse. So let's bring the warehouse back up. Go to model. It says that it's in there. Yeah, this didn't work well for me the other day either. So what I ended up doing was come in and under data or reporting, there it is. I'm going to create a new semantic model. And then call it out. We'll call it dynamic email. We'll put the table in there for these dynamic users. It's going to be the only one in. So it seems like the default semantic model can't be used for this process, because I got that error the other day as well. So now it's producing a new semantic model that's just going to have the one table in there. And I did this as a different model in order to not kind of pollute my main model, right? So I don't have to have all these little other tables in there. Boy, this is taking a lot longer than I expected. As always, I should have just left it created, right? So, but I wanted y'all to see how we could do it.
And it's good to see live how long some of these things take sometimes, right? Like, maybe these things just take a little while to get up and running. Oh, that's a new look. I've not done that before. So while that's
you're learning things too.
Well, what do you know? Yeah, his laptop is on vacation mode.
I guess it is. Man, what's taking so long here?
Well, so while that's going, let's talk through what we were talking about with parameters. Okay, so I do quite a bit about parameters because I love that solution, so I talk about it quite a bit. When you take a Paginated report, you can publish that to the service, and inside a Power BI report that's connected to a semantic model, you can embed that Paginated report inside of it. Now, okay, hey, that's great, but if you want it to be interactive, where like you click on something in Power BI and then you like filter down that Paginated report, you have to link the parameters that you want to filter by to the Paginated report. Now, there is a limit that works pretty good because you just define the parameter in the Paginated report, you connect it somehow, and you're good to go. There's a limit, though, of only 4 parameters that you're allowed to filter by. Okay, so if you had something where you're normally interacting by, let's say, sales rep, country, product, and I don't know, something else, right? Geography. I already did that, but whatever, right? Another thing, right? Okay, you can define those for variables, and you could do that linking, but often people have got dozens and dozens of filters that they're filtering by, and they're like, oh no, it's not going to work. The key is to filter by or to make the connection on the lowest grain variables that you have inside of your model to your report. So the reality is, when you do that, you can limit that functionality down to 4, or like the 4-star 4 fact tables with the lowest grain cardinality on individual conforming dimensions. So if if you do the parameter at the account level, you can connect to as many fact tables as you want in that Paginated report, and it'll still filter down to that one parameter, right? It would be the separate, like, non-conforming dimension that you want to use for your other parameters. So that parameter of cap of 4 is pretty big. You just have to be smart about how you're doing that. Okay, Kevin, is it working again now?
I think I'm back. Yeah, I actually, because
Okay,
I opened another tab and Fabric wasn't even responding for a bit. So
okay.
Okay, so now I got a new semantic model I call dynamic email. I'm going to select that. And so now you see I could select the fields that I want to use, and that I'm going to be able to map my email address, the subject, report parameters, and the file type. And I see Steve is asking about the file type, right? I'm going to make up my subscription to be just one file type always, but it's something you're able to put into your data table for your dynamic subscriptions. So you can say what type you want to send to different. So you can send different types to different users, even different subjects and everything. But we're going to keep it easy. We're going to select our email and our brand, and we're going to call brand manufacturer for this mapping exercise. And so now we're going to do next. It says recipients. I'm going to get from data, and it's going to be my dynamic user's email. Subject, I'm going to leave the subject that we just manually create it.
Oh, interesting.
Call it
So if I
product
wanted
sales.
to, I could have a field for that too, where that could be dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Some message.
Why do I feel like
You know where I'm
enjoy
going.
Excel?
You know where I'm going to that where with this, right? Whether you want to include the link to the report preview, I turn those off a lot of times, but sometimes you want to have it that you do want to have them be able to come out and click and see the report and everything. This is new to me. I haven't messed with this. Trigger an action based upon alerts with data activator. Interesting.
Nice.
But this is Stephen's question, right? So here I could just say I'm going to make it Excel for everybody. But if we wanted to, we could say get from data, and we would be able to put the right field in there or the right name. In this case, it looks like Excel Open XML. Probably have to
So a
use.
word of caution on that.
If you're going to put, yeah.
You have to be very explicit in what data is passed through, and it needs. And test this. I am 99% sure it has to be that exact value that's in your database. So scroll down. It has to be that.
Yeah.
Excel Open XML, all caps, no spaces, and so each one will have a different one, right?
Yes. Yeah, so click through those to grab the name that you want, because I agree with you. It's going to have to be exactly like this in order for it to work inside your data. Okay, so we're going to click next.
Damu is asking, is this available in Power BI Report Server as well, or is this just online? The dynamic subscriptions.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in the on-prem version. I don't think it is. I don't know for sure.
I am very certain this is not available in the reports on-prem report server, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong. So
yeah. So now here I can map. In this case, we're calling it it's manufacturer as the actual parameter, but I'm going to get it because I just created my table called brand. So this is how I'm mapping by parameter values. And then, oops, next. I could schedule and say when it's going to run and activate the subscription. I could turn it off if I wanted to for whatever reason. And next. So here you could come back through, if you think you needed to go back, kind of look at some stuff. We'll say save and close. Now, of course, none of those emails, I just put in like test at none one and test two or whatever. So we're not going to really run this and see some of the output. But that's how easy it would be to set up your subscription to be dynamic and then test it out on your own. I think it's a very, very helpful feature. And like we said, it's just how far you could get with all of this. We haven't touched desktop at all, right? So if you're a Mac user, you just don't want it, you can't have things installed or whatever, you could take this really, really far. So I think it's pretty amazing. I'm going to keep this off so that it just doesn't run by mistake.
yeah, so Damu is asking, and Kevin, I think we can slip this in here quick. Is there any way to convert a Power BI report which has only cards, no charts, etc., to convert it to a Paginated report for like subscriptions?
I think you'd have to redevelop it. I can't think of a way that would automatically do it. Now, you could, I don't think, or does it? I wonder if let me produce a new report, because, you could do subscriptions to Power BI reports as well.
Yep.
Right. So if I come in here to a Power BI report and I just put a table on it, and we'll put the same type of thing, right? The product, we'll just put a couple things. We'll put the manufacturer and sales. I don't know that this supports anything with dynamic, right? So, but you can come in here.
I thought it did. Maybe I'm misremembering that.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Look at that. I haven't played with this with just a regular report.
Nice.
What's funny is this screen, I'm now realizing this view at the bottom here is the exact same as the RDL report builder, right? So when you were doing the paginated report, it felt the same. But when I was looking at this, I was like, what a build, what are they looking for? You know? So this is connecting dots for me on how they built all this together.
Yeah. Well, so I wonder, like, can you pass slicer values in if I gave the manufacturer here?
I'm not even sure you have to do that.
Oh, you think it would have just given it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So let's try it. I got to get back to my reader mode. Where is it?
In the top ribbon, it's file view, then reading view. So I think it's reading view that you want.
Was it here somewhere?
Nope, right next to it, to the right. So the
Oh, the thing, the bright, the real easy one to see. Isn't it frustrating when you see something and somebody gets like, it's right there? Yeah, I know. Okay.
Someone asked me once, they're like, how do you
Subscribe to
consult?
report.
And how do you, constantly have to tell people things? I was like, well, I just put myself in pre-coffee mode and like, how would I find it, with my left hand, and when I closed, like, all right, we got this. It's always hard.
Especially since we're all virtual, right? It's how did well, no, look here, then go 3 pixels to the right.
Right. It's just patience. Like because we're all human, we all need it.
So bring that in, that, recipients. So I could do recipients from the data. We won't worry about any of this stuff right now. Oh, so here, okay. So it doesn't use like anything that you already have on the report. You add your own filter here.
Yeah. So if you wanted to pick brand here, even though you don't have a filter for it on the page, you could.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. And of course, it doesn't.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah.
And you can have multiple.
I don't know who was it that put the question in. Was it? But I don't know if it answers his question. But I think it gets him a little bit closer.
Yeah, I don't think you need to necessarily have to rebuild it. We're wrong. Yay! This is now right. You can do it. Go.
You don't even need a paginated report. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even need it.
Yeah. So take your report that's all card visuals. Set it. You can have it on a capacity, and go ahead and set up a dynamic subscription. And if you need to filter it down, add your own filter. Cool.
Well, this is fantastic. All right. Well, we are approaching the end of our little time here together. I'm sorry we didn't get to the embedded paginated reports. Maybe we'll have to come back and do that another time. Any parting words on this for everyone, Kevin, that we should be aware of?
No, sorry, you're breaking up, and I think
Oh,
I think
sorry.
I heard you right. Any final words? Enjoy Excel.
I took that to be so passive aggressive when you wrote it. Like, good luck, enjoy Excel. Like, but maybe that's just how I would write it.
Yeah. Well, I think we learned a lot today. We learned that, Paginated Report Builders are really easy to get up and running with now. There's some functionality that's not available in the service, but we can get started there and download. And is it still RDL files, or have they changed it to something else? It's still RDL files, right?
Yeah, there's still RDL
Okay.
files. So if you saved it and then you wanted to download it, you could make additional changes in the desktop editor.
Okay, good deal. Something's changed, and I feel like I've been saying RDL files for like 20 years now. So, um, but
Oh,
we've
yeah,
got
they've
lots of
been
different
around a long
options here.
time.
But yeah. Well, and that's where, like, honestly, if you want to get into the nitty gritty of stuff, there's so much code in the back end that you can do, and like head over. Are there used bookstores anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, head over
Mhm.
to those used bookstores. Look for like the books by Paul Turley. He wrote a number of great books on Paginated Report Builder,
Mhm.
or SSRS, that it was called at the time. A lot of that stuff still works and is some of the best documentation that's out there for this stuff, right? Yeah, excellent. Christina, any thoughts from yourself?
No, I think this is great. I think more people who are doing massive downloads out of Power BI into Excel should be thinking about paginated reports. So them making this easier is a huge thing, and it's going to help everybody. Yeah.
The Patch Father. Oh, all right. Well, with that, thank you guys all so very much for joining us today. Christina, Kevin, thank you for hopping on and talking. We're going to be back next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll figure something out. I guarantee it. Look for announcements, and we'll post it on all the usual channels. You guys have the best weekend ever. Peace.
Peace.
Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.